It was all meant to be. So, do you like LA?
Yeah, but I'm a country boy, and out in the old country, all we do is bale straws of hay, and next thing you know, you're sitting under a tree taking a nap with your hat down and a weed in your mouth.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey Thomas, could you get Noah and Timmy down here? I found some oil in my backyard in a jar. It looks interesting. I need your help.
Something's wrong with the oil. Don't drink the oil.
Matt? I got your voicemail. Gotta say, pretty weird. Well, hello there. Matt? Where? Right there. Matt, what happened to you? Would you please stop referring to me as Matt, or the short name for Matthew? What else would I call you? Call me George W. Bush, the President of the United States from 2001 to 2007, also known as the most influential person of the 2000s. That was way more factual than it needed to be. Because it's true. I am the most influential person. Anyone who thinks otherwise is sorely mistaken. Why are you so passionate about this? No, bigger question. Why are you George W. Bush? The voicemail wasn't a joke? What voicemail? No, it's nothing. No, what voicemail? No, it just confused you. Do you misunderestimate me? Excuse me? Do you misunderestimate? You heard me. That's not a word. Yes, it is. I just said. Oh my God. You are George W. Bush. Well, I told you. Yeah, but you are. This is impossible. Well, why don't you take a seat right there, and I'll provide my argument as to why I'm the most influential person in the 2000s. I will explain my role and how I played in creating history with direct references to social, political, or even historical events. And I'll even show a video. It's a win-win situation for everyone.
No.
Take a seat.
No, not right now. We have way more important things at hand.
I don't care. Take a seat.
No,
Take a seat.
definitely not.
Take a seat.
No,
Take a seat. No. Take a seat. No. Take it on another.
what?
Take a seat.
I'm gonna call Noah.
The 2000s are important because they took a lot of inspiration from decades past while also being the setup for so many years after that. Without it, if you were to take out the decade from history, we'd be lost in a stream of confusion. George W. Bush was definitely the most important figure of the decade. For reasons good and bad, love him or hate him, he changed the game. I'm sorry, I gotta take this. Hello? Oh, sorry, I'm kind of busy right now. What? No, I'm teaching somebody who's really struggling right now. His grades are really low. This is pretty important. Magic oil? George Bush? Say no more. I'll be right there. I'm sorry, I have to take this.
What? It was just getting good. Oh my goodness.
So is that George Bush?
Something like that.
So what's going on?
This oil turned our friend Matt into 43rd U.S. President George W. Bush.
Dear God.
And he really wants to present us with facts about why he's important.
Huh. Interesting. Where's Timmy?
I don't know.
360, 360, 360. He's gonna get him. My God. I had 90 pump. My God.
We gotta try to get Matt back. I've been trying to learn more about the oil, but there's nothing.
All right, boys. Presentation time.
Maybe we listen to a stupid presentation. We'll find a way to get him back.
Good idea.
Let's go.
All right, boys. Why I am the most important man of the 2000s. Made by me, of course. Passing of Medicare. That's right, all you non-believers. I did stuff that was important. On November 22nd, 2003, after a super long 3-hour voting process, it was decided to pass my prescription drug law. This had made it easier for Americans to get drugs to maintain their health. This new bill was cheaper than the previous, saving the American people $5,000 in prescription drugs compared to its predecessor. Not to mention, the government would pay for most of the drug if the person paid $250 a month.
With this law, we're giving older Americans better choices and more control over their health care so they can receive the modern medical care they deserve.
AIDS. During my presidential reign over the American peasants, I realized the problem. AIDS. How can I run a multi-gazillion corporation if all my slaves to the system are dying? I had to think quickly. That's when I thought of it. If I were to fund a large sum of money, I could help out. During 2001, I donated $148 billion to help fund for cures and treatments toward the AIDS virus. I had also created PEPFAR, which has sent treatments to people all over the world and had given care to 100 million men, women, and children in the U.S.
Only 50,000 AIDS victims, only 50,000, are receiving the medicine they need. Because the AIDS diagnosis is considered a death sentence, many do not seek treatment. Almost all who do are turned away. A doctor in rural South Africa describes his frustration. He says, we have no medicines. Many hospitals tell people, you've got AIDS. We can't help you. Go home and die. In an age of miraculous medicines, no person should have to hear those words.
Relief programs. On October 3rd, 2008, the government had used $700 billion to fund TARP, although Obama brought it down to $440 billion. Thanks, Obama. TARP had allowed the Treasury to purchase liquidities that from banks and businesses. Basically, for all you lazy people, it means that it encouraged banks to lend money that it made and stabilize prices and increase value. It also made set spending limits towards parts of the government like the Treasury. TARP had also helped out during the crash of 2008, which assessed relief to homes.
Noah.
Iraq. On March 20th, 2003, I declared war on Iraq because it was believed that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. What's that sweet, sweet oil? After long bombing campaigns with the UK, very little was getting done. On December 30th, 2006, we were able to execute Saddam Hussein and destroy the government, even though he was dead and I was losing popularity. On January 2007, I declared a troop surge. It was an unpopular decision, but it needed to be done.
I take the threat very seriously. I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously.
More than 20,000 soldiers were sent to Baghdad. This led to the development of the new governments and a hope that the war would end.
No, we gotta wake up. Matt's presenting. Noah, Jesus!
Saddam Hussein. On July 16, 1976, a new challenger had appeared, a ruthless man who did whatever he had seen fit to gain land for Iraq. After invading multiple countries, and after many decades, I had finally done something about this man. It was clear to me they had weapons of mass destruction, and he would use them on us and the American people. So I declared war on him. I did so because of the weapons, and totally not because of sweet oil.
The world has engaged in 12 years of diplomacy. We have passed more than a dozen resolutions in the United Nations Security Council. We have sent hundreds of weapons inspectors to oversee the disarmament of Iraq. Our good faith has not been returned.
After 3 years of fighting, we had finally captured him. On December 13, 2003, he was captured, and on December 30th, 2006, he was finally executed. Talk about a Christmas gift. Oh yeah, I'm on fire. Talk about a Christmas gift. Oh yeah, I'm on fire. High fives, everyone. 9/11. On September 11, 2001, the unthinkable had happened. A terrorist attack had occurred on U.S. soil. Al-Qaeda had taken responsibility for the attacks along with its leader, Osama bin Laden. Two planes had hit the towers. One had hit the Pentagon, and one crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people had died with the collapse of the two towers. Not only has this killed people, but it also, at a time, killed the hearts of the American people. I had to be the man that would be the people's rock.
2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I've ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act.
With the rise of patriotism, we went to war with Al-Qaeda, and with my efforts, Obama was able to finish the job and kill Osama bin Laden. Not for the fun stuff. I'm an awesome guy. I've done a lot of pretty awesome things during my presidency. In fact, I think you all should be pretty impressed with everything I've done. Hashtag humble brag. I've gotten to do a lot of cool things during my presidency, which have made me the most important man in the 2000s. I mean, just look at me. I'm hitting that dab, yo. How many presidents have done that? I've also made a fool of myself on many occasions. And if you doubt me, at least I'm not Jeb Bush. Now, the most important reason of all. Obama. Thanks, Obama.
People are lined up 10, 20, 50 deep. It's a mob scene outside. Much more of a police presence. You go through the magnetometer, hand search. This had another level of intensity to it. I remember seeing guys holding automatic weapons, and I remember thinking to myself, this is now my America.
Walking into the locker room and seeing a bomb dog go through your locker. These were reminders of what was going on around us.
Another reason for the heightened security was the appearance of a guest from Washington.
As we walked into the locker room, there was a gentleman standing there that we had never seen before. He says, well, President Bush is going to come, and he's going to throw out the first pitch, and we need a Secret Service agent on the field, and so I'm going to dress as an umpire. He had communications, he had guns, he had things hooked on the back, he had things hooked on the front. And I said, how are you going to hide all that stuff? He says, don't worry, he says, it'll disappear. All of a sudden, there was a knock at the door, and President Bush walked into our room.
Thank you. Will you do me a favor and say hi to my son, because he's one of your biggest supporters? Jimmy?
What's his name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy, how are you?
Well, when you're president, all you have to do is say you're showing up, and they kind of ask you to throw out the first pitch, no matter what time of year it is.
This is my first World Series.
Is it really?
Yeah. I vowed I'd never go to a World Series unless the Rangers got in. And I changed that vow. You know, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to throw out the ball, I was able to do so with a little zip. You know, I didn't want people to think that their president was incapable of finding the plate. So I go underneath the Yankee Stadium, in the bowels of Yankee Stadium, and there's a hitting cage there.
And he's wearing his bulletproof jacket, and he's getting his arm loose, and Derek Jeter comes up to him.
Hey, Prez, how are you doing? Good, Derek. That's good luck tonight. Thank you, sir. He said, say, I hear you're throwing out the first ball.
So I just asked him if he was going to be throwing the first pitch from the mound or in front of the mound.
The president said, I think I'll throw from the base of the mound. Jeter said, I wouldn't do that if I were you, Mr. President.
And I told him, you better throw it from the mound, otherwise you're going to get booed. I said, this is Yankee Stadium.
I said, okay, I'll throw from the mound. And he's walking out, and he looks over his shoulder, and he says, don't bounce it, they'll boo you. And so the pressure, all of a sudden, I mean, I'm sitting there kind of fairly relaxed and feeling fairly loose, and the great Derek Jeter, don't bounce it, they'll boo you. And all of a sudden, the pressure mounted.
The President of the United States.
I'd never felt what I'd felt before when I walked out of that dugout. I felt the raw emotion of the Yankee fans.
USA! USA!
The crowd just erupts in a chant of USA. There is nothing like it that I've ever experienced at a ball game. It was overwhelming. It was just overwhelming.
President Bush is standing out there like a brick wall. I'm not afraid of terrorists. I'm going to stand all out here. I'm going to give you a thumbs up, and I'm going to throw a strike.
I didn't vote for him, but at that point, my personal feelings about him as a politician is gone. I watched him, and he was my representative, and I had never felt that way before.
Very nice throw, Mr. President. Good stuff, good stuff.
At that moment, everybody there was there for baseball and to show the world that in spite of what can happen to us, we'll pull ourselves together, and what is our life and our way of life will continue.
United we stand. We stand together in the face of this threat. We will play baseball in the midst of the beginnings of this war. No matter what the threat may be to us, the United States of America will stand strong and will never be intimidated.
There's nothing in there about oil. I know. That was a complete and utter waste of our time. Bush? Yes? Have you been drinking the oil? Why, yes, I have. But the jar is still full. Well, because it's replenishes. It's unlimited oil. What?
Unlimited oil?
Yeah, unlimited oil. Could be rich. Yes, it is unlimited. But that's American property. So, I can't have this? No, you can't. You're not actually the president, you know. You just think you are. It's like some sort of defense mechanism. I am the president. No, you're not. Of the United States of America. It's mine oil. Get out of my house.
This isn't over, Bush. I'll have the oil soon, and you'll never see it again. What? It was just getting good.